Hello and welcome to This is Difficult Gaming Podcast, the
Hello.
show where we talk about video games and other things, but mostly just video games. I'm your host, Paul,
Me too.
and I'm here with Colin, and Bobbert is joining us in
Hey,
Josh's
how's it going?
absence this week. Josh got
Nice.
called away to foreign lands to, slay some dragons and shit. And yeah, so he couldn't be here tonight. He's out there, creating cures and other exciting things. What else is he doing, Colin? Do you know?
Cures mostly.
Just
yes.
mostly cures and slaying
Mostly
dragons.
cures.
And protecting Italian virginity. So yeah, that's where he's at tonight. But yeah, like I said, we got Bobbert with us. We got Colin. Should be a fun night. Guys, how have you been? Bobbert, we haven't had you on in a really long time. How have you been, man?
I've just been working and playing League of Legends a lot. I got introduced to that game a couple of months ago, and I've been enjoying it, I like to say.
I've never played it. Looks pretty intense.
It's a learning curve, I like to say, because I've never played a MOBA before.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, first couple of weeks, I was like, what the hell's going on? What is this? Why is he killing me? Stuff like that. Then after a while, it started to just click. Things started to make sense. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be over here, kill this guy, stuff like that.
Nice. I used to play Paragon a lot, which was a really cool free-to-play MOBA that got retired, which was a real big bummer. It was actually
Never heard of that.
It was a really cool game. You've never heard of Paragon? Colin, I'm surprised you haven't heard of it.
I think so.
It was really cool. And it was fairly popular too. I think so it was an Epic game, and I think that they basically just pulled all the developers off that and put them on Fortnite. Like, it was right at the cusp of when Fortnite was becoming popular. So yeah, it was a huge bummer because that game was pretty freaking sick. But that's the only MOBA I've ever actually gotten into personally. So,
How about you, Colin? You
The only MOBA I ever got into was this game called Future Cop. It had this multiplayer mode that was kind of an afterthought, and it was actually one of the first MOBAs to ever be created.
Okay.
very cool.
Yeah.
It's got a good name. I like it. I like the name. Future Cop.
Cop. Yeah.
Sounds dope.
I know. Kind of interesting actually, because the game didn't do very well, but it did definitely set a precedent for future MOBAs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting concept.
that is really interesting.
You're against a robot, though. I think originally in this. I don't know if it was.
Nice.
I don't know if you could go head to head with someone. It might have. I don't remember.
Whenever I think Future Cop, it always reminds me of I don't know if you all ever heard of the game called, what was it, Snatcher? Made by Hideo Kojima, if I remember the guy for
Hideo?
Metal Gear. Hideo Kojima, not
Hideo, yeah.
Hideo Kojima.
I like Hideo though. Let's start calling him that.
No,
Hideo.
You'd
What's
love
up,
that.
Hideo?
it hasn't even been 5 minutes. Anyway, you all never heard of Snatcher? It's a pretty good game. I've never played it personally, but I've seen playthroughs of it.
I've never I know nothing about it. So what else have you guys been up to? You play any video games this week other than MOBAs?
We're about to get into Dark Souls
Dark
3.
Souls is what I've been playing.
Dark Souls. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just open this up then, because I know how much of a fan of Dark Souls you are. I got you a game earlier today
Yes.
called Remnant. From the Ashes? Remnant from the Ashes, I think is what
Yeah.
it's called. I've been playing it all this week with Merktool and Chamali, and it is such a freaking fun game. It's like if you took Dark Souls and gave it guns and then also mixed it with Diablo.
Oh.
That's the game, and it's sick. It is so much fun. One of the really cool things about the game is that it's instance based, meaning that like I could start an instance of the game and do a full playthrough and then go back and play the game again in a new instance and have totally different experiences. So there's like different encounters, different bosses, different areas and stuff that you can play in. It's very cool.
It
very,
seems really
very cool.
nice. I want to try it out.
Yeah, the graphics are pretty decent. The art design is awesome. Like you really feel like you're in this crazy post-apocalyptic world. It really like sucks you in. It's very cool. I'm
So
absolutely.
it's like a
loving it.
loot system similar to Diablo. I like to.
Yeah, but not as. So the nice thing about it is, it's not as. It's a much more simplified loot system. I would still kind of classify it as a looter, but you don't have to deal with like crazy item management and stuff like you do in like a Diablo or Destiny or something like that. You know,
Right.
everything's much more simplified. You basically have your basic currencies and crafting materials, and then you find items in the world that you can create your weapons and armor from.
Okay.
And then you just go and you make them, and that's it. You don't have to like, you know, bother with like removing things from your inventory to make space for other stuff, and at least not that I've run into yet.
So it's just very simplified. It's not all that complex. It doesn't slow down the gameplay, is what you're saying.
Exactly, which is what I like. That's like my biggest pet peeve in video games is when there's mechanics in place that slow down the gameplay. That's the biggest reason I quit playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Right?
I just recently bought that not too long ago.
Okay, it's an awesome game, and if you don't mind that mechanic, right? Like having to stop what you're doing to make sure that your horse is fed, to make sure you're fed, to make sure you're
like survival mechanics.
You've brushed
Oh, I
off.
never
Yeah, it's
knew
got a
that.
bunch of survival mechanics in it. Yeah.
Oh, I kind of like that.
I
But I get why you wouldn't.
hate it.
That's
Speaking
why
of
you like Don't
which,
Starve together.
yeah, I was gonna say. Speaking of which,
He hates Don't Starve.
we played Don't Starve together. That was
He had
the game of the
fun
week.
with me.
We can talk about the game of the week right now. Let's just get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way. Game of the week this week was Don't Starve Together. Colin, why don't, before I tell my experience, why don't you give us like a synopsis of what the game is?
It's a survival game that's like what they have a name for it. Like it's a unapologetic survival game. Like it just kind of throws you into the wilderness and says go, and like doesn't really give you a lot of direction or like input or anything. And there's really no like goals except to survive. So that's really what it boils down to. It's this 2D. It's like 2.5D really. It's interesting. The art style is like
yeah,
Paper Mario
it does kind of. Yeah, it does. It's not a 3D element, but yeah, 2.5D is, I guess, a good way to explain it.
with
because-
Tim Burton overtones.
Yeah, very Tim Burton-esque art style.
Yeah, it's really definitely its own unique game, but it definitely at the core of it, it's a survival game where you basically just need to survive, and like you have seasons, that approach, different bosses that approach, and mobs that are there to either help you or hinder you, and like it's unrelenting. Like I mean, even seasoned veterans can still be thrown off. Like I know, like sometimes I get like all settled, my base is good to go, and then like things just compound on each other where you just can't even handle it. Like I almost lost an entire server one time, which gets deleted if everyone dies.
It's also randomly generated. Right?
Yeah, it's
Would you say
procedural generated.
roguelike?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Because
Yeah.
every world's different.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about my experience with this game. I was playing with Colin.
Which character were you using?
I was a spidery boy.
Weber.
I was a very spidery boy, yeah, Weber. And Colin was holding my hand quite a bit. And actually, Faye didn't jump in game, but she jumped in chat and helped out a considerable amount as well. And so that was nice. Like, I didn't really have any kind of like fear of dying ever necessarily. But
that's probably why you didn't enjoy it as much. 'cause
no.
you didn't ever-
I'll tell you why I didn't enjoy
You're
it as
dying.
much. No, I'll tell you why I didn't enjoy it as much, Colin. had nothing to do with the fear of dying, because I was well aware that if you weren't holding my hand, that I wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes, right? So
Nice.
that I was grateful for, right? And I did indeed have a really good time, excuse me, just playing games with you, because I actually like hanging out with you and playing games with you. So in that regard, I would play the game again if it was a means of hanging out with you. You know what I mean? Or hanging out with another friend that was really into that game. Now, on the flip side of that, the game literally offers absolutely nothing that's appealing to me as a gamer. I wasn't a huge fan of the graphics style. I think that the oppressive survival mechanic was insane and unrealistic. I don't like survival games at all. Because like I said earlier, I don't like things that get in the way of my gameplay experience, right? And
Did you?
Right.
to
I'm sorry to
me,
cut you off.
no, you're good. To me, the only mechanic in that game, or the only experience in that game, is that interruption of gameplay, right?
Mhm.
So there's like, it's literally everything that I hate from other games all in one game. And so if I was to ever play that by myself, I wouldn't. That's actually what I'm trying to say. I would never play that game by myself. Ever. But I can see the appeal for some people, because I definitely know a lot of people that really do enjoy that kind of manic, like, I have to, forage and I have to do this and this and this. But like, for me as a gamer, that doesn't have any appeal whatsoever.
My question is,
Yeah.
did you have a? Darn, I just lost my train of thought.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I should have let you go.
What was it again? I'll come back to it later. Forget it.
Okay.
It'll come back.
All right. We'll be talking about game news and you'll be like, oh, I remembered. I remember my question.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, here we go.
Did you have a sense of direction when you were playing that game, or did?
Not at
Call that
first. Not at first. But once we got our base established and I went to and from the base a few times, I developed a sense of direction, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, initially it was just like, I'm just sitting here and like twiddling my thumbs, kind of like actively dying. And I've got to do all these like menial tasks to make it so I don't die.
Right.
Which is fine. Like I said, I can see the appeal for some people, but I don't like that kind of gameplay whatsoever. That's the stuff I avoid in games. That's the reason I stopped playing Red Dead Redemption 2, so yeah.
I get that. So I think there's a certain mindset to play those kind of games, because like sometimes I just want to sit down and like I'm able to pause whenever I need to pause and walk away when I need to walk away. Like with this game, you gotta like really be fully invested.
You do, yeah. You have to be really on point and focused.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't for me, but I can see the appeal.
What about Terraria? Can we get him hooked on Terraria?
I like
So-
Terraria.
I like Terraria, but I like Starbound better.
Okay, then we should play that.
We should play Starbound. Now, I have wasted entire weekends playing Starbound and not even noticed. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
been there. Yeah.
That's the thing about Starbound that I don't like, actually, is that like I get so sucked into Starbound that I've had entire weekends go by and like I don't eat, and it's unhealthy.
in his man cave
yeah.
forever.
And I realize that there's still a certain level of the same kind of like survival aspect in those types of games, but to me, it's much better balanced with gameplay. Like way better balanced. I think, it's the appropriate amount. So, yeah, I absolutely love Starbound. I've never actually played Terraria, but from my understanding, it's like the exact same game, only one is, got intergalactic space travel in it, and the other doesn't. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm into it.
Awesome.
Yeah. You guys play anything else this week or no?
No,
I didn't actually.
Hmm.
basically it for me.
Trying to think. I played a little bit of Mega Man Zero, which I'm very excited about. I'm gonna stream that later this week, probably.
Oh yeah, they had the collection.
Yeah, the
came
collection
out.
just came out. I'm super happy about that. Dude, the value on that is amazing. It's like it's
$30 for like 6 or 7 games.
6 games. You're right, 6 games. And it's $30. And these are all like fully fleshed out games and they're excellent. Like take any Mega Man game and make it better, and that's Mega Man 0, right? And that's what you get. They're incredible. They're very hard. One thing that I really like about them is they add like more of an RPG aspect to Mega Man, which is really fun. So yeah, definitely worth checking out.
It's definitely worth the value because
Yeah.
try to go out today and try to buy those games. Actually, it's going to be what you're going to be spending over $100 or $200.
Right, if you're trying to buy them individually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Master Remastered said he got the Mega Man collection for $5. It's like 8 or 9 games. Yeah, that's a really good value too. I've got that as well. I think I have it both on PlayStation and on the Switch. It's really good. Mega Man games are great. They're some of my all-time favorite games. So anytime they come out with a collection like that, like they're definitely speaking to me, you know. I go out and buy them.
I have to admit though, when I played the Mega Man games, I cheated. I used save states.
Yeah.
Because they'll send you all the way back to the beginning of the level. I'm like, fuck that, you know?
Yeah.
Save state right before the boss.
Right. Yeah. I don't blame you for that. Especially some of them are so incredibly hard. Mega Man 11 is the most recent like mainline Mega Man game that came out, and it is freaking insanely hard. In fact, like I gotta play it on basic bitch mode, and I play a lot of Mega Man games. I've been playing them all my life. They're like my favorite games, or some of my favorite games, and yeah, it's incredibly hard. Yeah, Mega Man 3 is really tough too. Master Remastered in the chat. Actually, really all of those original, just Mega Man line. I think those are more difficult than both the Mega Man X series and the Mega Man 0 series, to be honest. But yeah, it's good stuff. You guys want to get into the news?
Sure.
Yes.
Sweet. Okay, so I put this in here twice, so we're only going to talk about it once, though. I don't know why I put it in here twice. Probably because I'm an idiot. GeForce Now versus Google Stadia is what I had originally put in there, but I kind of want to like look at it the broad spectrum of game streaming. First of all, at this point in the game, I don't know if either of you have experienced any game streaming, but like, what is your guys' outlook? What's your opinion on like cloud gaming at this point?
Well, you know what? It's kind of interesting you said that because recently I wanted to play a game while I was upstairs and I used, have you ever used Steam Link before on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
It works pretty well. It's not like flawless by any means, but I attached a PS4 controller to my phone and then played Hat in Time upstairs on my phone, basically via my computer. So it wasn't like cloud gaming per se.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, like that's basically, just cutting out the middleman basically. Yeah. And it was pretty cool. I actually really liked it. Now I did have issues with like,
latency,
lag, and input latency and that kind of thing. So like that was kind of annoying, but like I think it's the future. I just don't think it's gonna be here yet until everyone has decent internet. Like it's just,
yeah.
I don't know what analogy you compare it to, but it'd be like saying like everyone needs to drive this fast, but only like 50% of cars can even reach these speeds, to have
right.
So it's like, I don't know how to like rectify that, so to speak. So
yeah, I agree with you. So the reason I brought it up is because GeForce Now came out a couple of weeks ago. Do you guys know what GeForce Now is?
It's basically you're able to stream your games.
Yeah, so it's NVIDIA's streaming service that they came out with. I believe it's $4.99 a month. And what's unique about their service is it uses your Steam library. Right? So it's not like exclusive games and this and that. Now there are limitations to that, especially because like there's certain developers like Activision that have pulled all their games from that service. and
Mhm.
and it's due to like licensing issues, right? But for the most part, you can play almost, if not all, of your Steam library in your GeForce Now, um, streaming application, which is dope. Now, again, you're subject to those same uh, kind of drawbacks that you are with Google Stadia or any other streaming service where you're going to have that latency. But if it's a chill game, like a single player game, RPG, something like that, where you don't have to have like quick twitch reaction, like in a fighter or a shooter, it's actually a pretty sweet way of playing your games on the go.
Right.
Um,
That's the problem though. Like you have kids that are want to play Fortnite that are like, well, not gonna happen. Like don't.
yeah, but they can play Fortnite on their phone anyway.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I just kind of want to compare. Like the cool thing about GeForce is it's got basically your Steam library. Google Stadia seems to be falling apart at the seams. You have to buy all your games and you still don't own them, because they're all cloud. It's not like the nice thing about GeForce Now is like if GeForce Now goes away, I still have all my Steam games that I bought.
Mhm.
you
Right.
know? If Google Stadia goes away,
It's basically
gone.
just Parsec, right? That's all it is.
Kind of.
I just
yeah.
saw the picture.
It's kind of Parsec-esque. And I would compare that to xCloud as well, right? So Xbox's streaming service. The thing that I think that Xbox has that's unique is you can stream from your Xbox, right? So similar to GeForce Now, you can play anything that you own on Xbox and literally stream it from your Xbox to your phone, which is pretty cool. But other than that, I don't think it's that much different. That's currently actually free in beta. If you get in on the beta.
Wait, it's
But-
GeForce Now?
No, well, you can do an hour worth of GeForce Now for free if you've never tried it before.
Oh, that's not in the beta though.
Right. That's fully released. Project X Cloud, which is
So Parsec's coming out soon. Like, how's that going to compete with GeForce Now? It's free. They're coming out soon for the iPhone. Right now, it works for the Android. I don't know if you've tried. You should download. Yeah, you should get Parsec for your phone, Paul, if you want to just do GeForce Now for free.
yeah, and then I literally would be able to play my entire Steam library, right? Or
Yeah.
no? Is there
Yeah.
certain games that
There's
don't
no
work
limit.
with
There's
Parsec?
no limit. Yeah.
wow.
It's your computer, so like I don't know why it wouldn't work.
Yeah, wow, that's really interesting. But your computer would need to be on to do that. That's the one thing. So like my computer could be turned off and I could hop on GeForce Now and play games from my Steam library on my phone or other device that
Yeah.
has that installed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't wait. What I really want is my dream is to have like a little adapter that converts your phone to HDMI. You can plug into a TV, like in a hotel or something like that.
Sure,
and then
yeah.
bring a keyboard that unfolds, or a little Bluetooth keyboard and a mouse, and then
Yeah.
just you have your
To
computer.
a
at your
degree you can
fingertips.
already do that. I mean there's like Samsung phones have like screen sharing between TVs and it's basically seamless.
Yeah,
And you don't have to use a dongle. You can just cast it directly.
pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool.
The dongle idea, it sounds cool, but it's my phone. So what if I'm getting a phone call and I'm like, oh shit, I have to interrupt my game, unplug it, make a phone call.
Yeah. So
Seems like too much of an interruption.
Yeah, some phones do have like a gaming mode that will turn off all network functionality other than what's required for your game. So you won't get those calls, you won't get those texts while you're gaming.
Oh, okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. That'd be
So-
really annoying. That'd be an annoying part of it because like it is your phone after all, So
Right. Let's move on from that. GDC. Do you guys know what GDC is?
I didn't know what it was until it got canceled.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know what it is.
Okay, GDC is the Game Developers Conference. What it is basically is it's like E3 only still relevant.
Wow.
It's not really a consumer facing convention. It's where the game developers all go and they meet and they basically network and share ideas about game creation, right?
Okay.
So that was supposed to be pretty soon, right? Within the next month or so. I think it's in this month, March.
Did they
But
say why?
they did say why. It's
Was it
the
because of the virus?
it certainly is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah. So it was completely canceled. Now canceled is kind of a strong word, I would say. It's postponed, but it's postponed essentially indefinitely. They haven't set a new date for it. A lot of people are actually if this whole coronavirus continues, they're imagining that E3 might be getting canceled as well.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean,
The
I don't know.
Olympics
I'm not
as
trying to
well.
go forward. It's really just a flu, right?
Yeah,
It's
the
just a
Olympics
nasty
is
flu.
so. I'm not a epidemiologist, so like I don't want to get into the weeds on this because I couldn't really tell you. But I will say this: China is definitely downplaying what is actually going on there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's
I have
just
a
what
friend
they
in
always
China
do.
right now, and he's saying the opposite. So
Really? Well,
yeah, he's like actually in Wuhan, like where like one of the outbreaks took place. I'm pretty sure.
You think they got to him?
And yeah, he's
Tell
saying
them to
like
say all
America
these
is
nice
overreacting.
things.
Is basically
wow,
what
really?
he said.
And
Yeah,
that might be the
I mean,
truth. That might be the
I
truth.
said, it looks like. Hang on.
I know that it's already hit Italy and Iran pretty bad.
Yeah.
And the first two, dude, this podcast is not about coronavirus. Let's move on from this. Let's talk about video games. Yeah, because none of us are doctors. Let's move on. But yeah, so that's essentially why that shit's getting canceled. We'll see what happens. Yeah, hopefully you're absolutely right. It's probably just, not a big deal. I would love for that to be the truth. Half-Life Alyx. That's coming out in a couple weeks, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that, Colin?
You know,
Robert?
I haven't really been following that, ironically enough. I
Yeah.
don't think I'm
You
gonna
buying
play
it?
when it comes out. So, well, I thought the index was already available, which also was like, what? Because I know people
it's been sold out consistently. It's been
seriously,
very
it's
sold
so
out.
expensive too.
Yeah.
It's the top of the line VR headset now, though. It is. The
Well,
best
so that's
of the best.
again, not to get into the whole coronavirus thing again, but like they're saying that their production is down because of that, and that's why it's going to be in limited quantities at release. But they do have sets that they are going to release when Half-Life Alyx comes out, right? So you will be able to purchase Index if that's something that you're interested in.
It's really exciting.
Something I heard about this game was that like most computers can't even run it. Do you know anything about that?
I haven't heard that.
Oh.
That doesn't sound.
I heard
real, 'cause
the system specs are insane.
of all people, you're saying like this game, Alex, or just the index?
The game.
I don't believe that. Of all people to optimize, it would be Steam. Like, I mean,
You
think
think
about all
so,
the
yeah.
games they've created. They are very good at optimizing things and making sure it runs and testing it and retesting it. So
Yeah.
I highly doubt that. That sounds.
So they're saying
like,
it's a crisis killer then.
Maybe.
And here's the thing though, with VR, it is incredibly hard to run that because not
Yeah.
only do you have to have 90 frames per second. So it can't just be like, well, 60 if you got them or 30 if your computer's lacking. It's like has to be 90 no matter what.
Right.
And then on top of that, it displays information twice. So no matter what image size it is, resolution size it is, it has to be done twice.
Right.
So like you're asking for literally double the input and like 3 times potentially the frame rate.
Right.
So like just a lot of data that has to go through quickly.
Right.
So.
So a lot of people are saying that this is gonna either make or break VR, because it's kind of like the first ever like big full actual AAA game made for VR. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that's true? Do you think that like if Half-Life Alyx fails, do you think VR is going to continue? Do you think
I
people
don't know.
will pay
I
less
think-
attention
I
to it?
think this is something kind of the whole world's watching kind of thing with
Yeah.
how's this going to do? Because here's the thing. Here's all it's going to basically establish.
Hmm.
Is VR a viable option to sell my games on? Like, can I make
Right.
money? And like the first people that got into VR that made games like Beat Saber, Super Hot,
Yeah.
Richie's Plank Experience, those kind of people, they made some good money, I think. But they were also the first, and now a bunch of other games are coming out, and people are like, "Is this the way forward? Can we get away with this and make some decent games?" You know, so like,
Right.
I don't know. I'm really curious to see how this moves forward, because this might also set the precedence for what a good VR game is. Right now,
Yeah.
like
Definitely.
we're all happy to pay $15-20 for like a 1 to 2 hour experience, you know, like a little like almost demo, if you will. But
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens. I actually I agree with you on that. Yeah, it's such a big thing that you're absolutely right. The whole world is watching. If it doesn't work out, then I think that most big game creators are going to kind of pull back from VR.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, especially like AAA, because we're wanting AAA to start like jumping in, you know. So
Oh,
Dude, I just had dinner
want food.
delivered by my beautiful wife.
what the fuck? I want to be.
Do you want to say hello?
No.
hello?
Okay, she's.
Oh, her.
If you come down to where I am, they'll see your
no,
face.
I'm okay. I'm ugly.
They can see your elbow.
Chelsea.
Oh, they see your face now.
There she is. I met her.
You gotta go that way.
I met that girl.
All right, she's
She's
waving.
pretty cool.
Oh, it's
Played
it's
VR together.
Oh, it's slow.
Yeah, that's the stream. This is where you'll see it in real time. No. There you go. All right, thank you, baby. This looks amazing.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah, that's Colin. That's Bobbert. That's his
We
friend.
met. We literally
Hey.
met.
Yeah.
Don't
All right.
tell her my name.
That's hilarious, dude. This food looks amazing. You guys want to talk for like the next 30 minutes while I eat?
can you share?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, you
What
want
are
me to
eating?
email
What
this
are
to you?
What are you eating?
Okay, it's a full
I'm like,
spread.
Put it up to the screen.
I'm trying.
Alright.
So we got chickens. It looks like there's like some kind of glaze on these, but then something else on this chicken. And then there's potatoes, quinoa and brown rice. Quinoa and brown rice. I'm having a stroke.
Okay, good.
We got some green beans, some broccoli, and some asparagus as well. Looks
Was it
amazing.
like grilled?
Nice.
It looks pretty good.
Those are really
Most
good.
of this I think is oven baked. I think, but yeah,
Okay.
I don't even have an oven right now.
yeah, that sucks, man.
We all have ovens though.
Shut the fuck up.
He has one. It just doesn't do anything. So
It's literally broken.
yeah. Bobbert, what do you think about all that, all the VR stuff with Half-Life Alyx and such?
VR doesn't necessarily appeal to me, but my thoughts on it, I have to agree with Colin's assessment on it.
What?
I'm trying not to chew into the mic. Yeah, I think we're all kind of on the same page there. It's cool. I mean, the first time I ever played VR was just a week or so ago at Colin's house, and I was actually blown away. It never appealed to me before trying it there,
Mm-hmm.
but after trying it, I can definitely see the future of VR. Like, if they do it right, if they nail it, it's gonna be awesome. But I think the biggest problem is affordability right now. You know, it's still way too expensive.
That
So-
and also for me personally, it was just too much going on. There's too many too many goddamn controllers and whatnot I have to put on me. I didn't like it. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's bulky. The financial barrier of entry is pretty high.
Yeah.
Cords and shit. I
Mhm.
didn't like it.
The Oculus Quest is wireless. I think
Mhm.
there's a new Vive that's wireless now.
One of my
But-
coworkers just got the Oculus Quest, I believe. He's brought it into work a couple times, but I didn't have a chance to try it out. Kind of wanted to.
Yeah.
Moving on, Platinum Games, creators of games such as Wonderful 101, Astral Chain, Nier, Bayonetta, so on. They're making their own totally independent title, codenamed Project GG, and they just released a teaser for it the other day. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't.
It looks pretty sick. It's pretty short, and it shows like kind of like a Tokyo at night skyline, and then you've got like some big kaiju and some big Power Ranger looking motherfucker coming in to like battle him. But that's about all you see, you know. So we don't
Okay.
really know what's going on. But I guess previously they've always brought in assistance from other studios or been partnered with like some kind of what do you call it? Not producer, but
Third party.
yeah, well, yeah, third party to get the game out, right? And this is their first 100% Platinum Games game. They're also opening their first studio outside of Osaka, and that's going to be in Tokyo. So I know that some of our viewers are real big fans of Platinum Games. I've enjoyed every one of their games that I've played. So yeah, they're pretty cool. And then Kamiya, their head honcho dude, he's a great follow on Twitter. And if you get blocked by him, it's an honor, just so you know. Don't be offended if you ever get blocked by him.
Wait, why would he block people exactly? Are they actually...
He's like famous for just blocking the shit out of people for asking stupid questions. There's actually a documentary on it.
Wow,
It's
strange.
fantastic. It's hilarious. Real cool dude. But speaking about Japan, Nintendo apparently has a secret storage facility full of original Game Boys.
That's weird.
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. I guess they had extra stock back in the day, and they just have.
Or like, just put it in our
Yeah.
big shed of Game
Yeah.
Boys.
But this kind of came to light. Apparently, kind of a heartwarming story. There was this old lady that really loved playing Tetris on her Game Boy, and she's like literally like 90 something years old, and her Game Boy broke. She couldn't play it anymore, and her granddaughter wrote a letter to Nintendo asking for a like not a replacement, but a like to get it fixed, right? And they're like, they told her, we can't repair it, but we'll send you a new one. And somehow the news got out about that, and it turns out they've got this big old warehouse full of original Game Boys.
Weird.
one.
They
Yeah.
should just sell that.
I
or
want
something.
one
don't
too.
know.
I
That's
know.
so-
I want one too.
that's-
I have some.
seems-
I have some original Game Boys, but I would like a nice, clean, fresh one. You know?
Right.
That'd be so
like out of the
nice.
box.
Collection.
Yeah. But yes, Master Remastered, I agree. We should Ocean's 11 that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm down.
Let's
Sneak
do
in
it.
and just steal it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We need to do that. Colin, is this one that you put in here about Kojima?
Oh yeah, Kojima. So a new tweet came out, basically teased maybe a new Silent Hill game, which, as you know, what happened last time. They had a new Silent Hill game coming out, and then it just fell apart and never came out to be. So it's been a while since we had a.
Well, that
A
was
good
all
Silent
during
Hill game.
the big drama with Kojima and Konami, right?
No, maybe, but it also was that director, Del Toro.
Benicio, no, that's the actor. What's his? Yeah, Del Toro's the last name. He
Yeah.
he helped with Death Stranding, didn't he? Or maybe I made that up.
Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, they basically had a falling out. Is the point? Like the guy who was behind a bunch of like really cool and intricate ideas and concepts, basically, they had a falling out and they had a disagreement, and they decided not to go forward with this game that looked pretty incredible. It looked like a really interesting horror game, which is really hard to pull off these days, and you really don't see
Right.
a lot of AAA horror games that are good. Like usually they're kind of like mass produced or like not scary or whatever, but like every
Right.
once in a while you get that really good one.
Like,
So,
let's name a few. Could you name a few off the top of your head that you would
my
consider
AAA
good?
ones.
Yeah,
Not AAA. I can only name like some indie ones.
Zombie ate my neighbors.
It's a good
a
game.
classic.
Classic. That's a really good game, actually. We should play that. That should be our next game. Was it on the Switch, actually?
If-
I'm not sure.
Because that was a Super Nintendo game, right?
Yep. I
Yeah,
still
but
have
Check
my
and see if
copy.
it's on
Probably
the
not.
check and see if it's on the Switch Online.
Super Nintendo, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
probably
think I
gonna
don't think it
release
is. I don't think it is.
in the future.
I doubt it is because
Yeah.
it's not Nintendo's game,
Hmm.
It's Lucas Art, whatever, which is now.
Oh,
Disney.
Disney. Yeah. Yeah, I doubt we'll see a remake of that game then. In that case, or a re-release.
Oh, Kirby Superstar is now on there.
Yep.
And
That was released, I think, a month
Poppin',
ago.
Twin B.
Yeah, that's
Smash
like
Tennis,
a
Star Fox 2 and Punch Out.
yeah. Twin B, I think, is like a
Punch
bullet
Out.
hell shooter. But it's all cutesy. You know what I mean?
These are all Nintendo games. Or
Yeah.
it looks like there's a Famicom one. Who the fuck cares about that, you know?
Okay. Alrighty. Let's see what else. Oh, so this is a big bummer, and we kind of put an Easter egg in the title of the stream. The creator of the Konami code, wow, I speak Japanese. Hold on. I can say this, I swear to God. Kazushisa Hashimoto. Kazushisa Hashimoto. Just gotta.
That's a tongue twister. Oh,
It's
that's lot
a
to
tongue
take in.
twister. Yeah, he died.
Yikes.
Which is a bummer. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was natural causes. I think he was an old dude. But yeah, he's the one who created the classic code.
That's insane.
Up,
He was
down,
a
down,
huge-
left,
Not
right, left,
inspiration,
right.
but like impact, basically. Like that's been parodied so
Yeah,
much, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. I think the original game that it was, a lot of people think Contra Code, but it wasn't originally in Contra. It was originally in what's the name of the game? It's like R-Type, but different.
What?
R-Type. So it's not R-Type Leo or any of those?
No. It's like those games. Gradius. Gradius was the
I don't
original.
know.
Maybe it's pronounced Gradius. I think it's Gradius. I've always said Gradius. You've never played Gradius? That was one of the first Game
I
Boy
don't
games
even know
I
what that
had
is.
was Gradius. But yeah, I believe that's the first game it ever appeared in. So yeah, that was a big old bummer. And then there were some other notes in here. I'm just kidding. We put some jokes in here. So, do you want to move on to our final topic?
Sure.
Sweet. So the topic question was this: are games dividing into
We had
two
this
major
already.
categories? Did
This
we?
was last week. Yeah.
Damn it! What have I done?
Someone
Like games as a
improvise.
service, or we had this conversation last week with Josh.
We
remember?
did have this conversation. We had two topics last week, and I removed one. Let's look. Do we have anything in the suggestions section here? I don't believe we do. Well,
Uh-oh.
that might be it then. I don't know if we have any. Do you
That's
guys
all,
have,
folks.
That's all, folks. Do you guys have
Thanks.
anything else you wanted to mention this
Nope.
week on the podcast?
Nope.
Let's pick a game of the week. I know.
Zombies Eat My Neighbors.
No.
You stole it, you fuck.
It's a good
No.
game.
Let's do, because we talked about doing this before with Josh, but let's do Swords of Ditto.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's game
I've
of the
never
month,
heard of that.
right?
Game,
of the
yeah,
month,
game of the month. Let's maybe do game of the couple weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, give us
Okay.
enough time because that game doesn't necessarily need an entire month dedicated to it. But you know, maybe more than just a week just to give us a chance to play it. So
What
so
is
that'll
that
be our
on
game.
Exactly.
It is a very awesome game. It's
It's on
basically
the Switch, Bobbert, and Steam.
Okay.
it's also on
Okay.
Steam. I actually bought it on Steam so that we could do the co-op because the game designer specifically meant for the game to be couch co-op only. So he didn't put any online features, but obviously with Steam you can use Parsec to do the co-op with it, right?
Right.
So we're gonna do that. It's basically a Zelda game, but somewhat procedurally generated and also a roguelike.
So what type of Zelda we're talking about? The original
2D,
or the
yeah,
3D?
like
Okay.
top-down
Bobbert, I think
2D
you'd
style.
like it actually.
I think you
This
would love
actually
it. I
is
think
a game up your alley.
anyone that
I'll-
enjoys Zelda games would love this
I'll
game.
send you a link, Bobbert, where to buy
Yeah.
it potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just check it, but like obviously check it out on Steam as well.
it's absolutely fantastic.
How many players can play at once?
Too.
As far as I know, only 2.
Oh.
Yeah, which is a big old bummer, but it's still a lot of fun. it's definitely worth checking out. And if anyone's interested, I would love to maybe do like a co-stream, one of these weeks before we talk about it on
That'd
the
be fun.
podcast.
We have 2 weeks, so we can work on that.
Yeah, so maybe I don't know that I can do it this week because I got a lot of stuff going on this week as far as the stream is concerned. But potentially next week, or maybe I don't know if anyone's available on Saturday, but that would be a good day for me to.
Maybe, yeah.
I work Saturday. I need to check and see.
Because that's the day I have the most amount of time to stream. So, the Tuesday and Wednesday streams are usually shorter. So, but we might be able to do it. Anyway, it's a blast. I recommend anyone check that game out, and that's going to be our game for the next couple weeks that we're going to focus on, and then we'll talk about it on the show. Yeah, so that's about it. This is Difficult Gaming Podcast. We're gonna raid someone here in a second.
Okay.
Is anyone streaming right now?
Colin, you streaming?
Yep. No, I'm not streaming.
I'm assuming Josh isn't streaming, right?
He's not. No, he's at work.
He's still at work. Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. Let me check. See who's on. So stand by, everyone, and we'll go ahead and raid somebody. But yeah, you can check out. This is my Twitch channel. I am also on Twitter at Ryugami Sama. You can see the details down below. And I stream on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, and then the podcast here on Sundays. And then I'm here with Colin. Bobbert, is there any self promotion that you want to give out, or?
I got nothing.
You got nothing? Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right.
I don't do anything.
I mean, Colin, you want to give your
stream
your
on
socials?
Monday through Thursday at twitch.tv/4cheese, and then also on Twitter at 4cheese gaming.
Okay.
So I'm so inconsistent right now with streaming though. Coming all over the place.
That's okay. We still love you.
Oh, thanks, man.
You guys want to raid Faye?
That's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Even though she snubbed me to be the guest this week.
Yeah.
She totally did. She was very rude about it.
Wait, she was gonna have you as a guest on her show?
No.
Or vice versa?
I invited her to be on the show, and she's like, yeah, probably not unless you move the time or play a horror game. And I'm like, yeah, definitely not doing either of those things. And she's like, well, then see ya. But yeah. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and raid her because despite that, she's still my little sister. And we got to be cool. So, all right, we're raiding in 3, 2, 1. Everyone have a good night. Goodbye.
Good night. Bye.
Have a good one.
Nice.